guy, Jerry Bennett, he wrote a book called Dark Mind, and it's all about the connection between the CIA and the Contras in distributing and trafficking cocaine in the country. It's just something that says.
Awesome, you guys check it out. Two other, Eli, you go.
Just to kind of go off of the whole, if the government really had the public's health in mind, then how do you explain, and like, if that were true, if the government really were doing this for, the best interest of the people, then how do you explain marijuana being federally illegal, even for medical use, when it has been studied and shown that 7 out of 10 cancer patients treated with a cannabis-based medicine have survived?
Well, I would argue that marijuana is not directly correlated to the survival of cancer patients. Marijuana is even the treatment to relieve pain and stress, which ultimately can help their will to live. Marijuana is not the cure for cancer.
It has been shown, however, that marijuana does, or not marijuana, but the active ingredients in marijuana actually can help kill cancer cells.
Bring some information on that at the next meeting.
I'm going to say one more thing. I promote smaller government. I feel like this is a huge issue, when talking about drugs. However, we do have something that Dr. Kevorkian brings a different subject. He did propose the Ninth Amendment, which kind of protects our rights. Says the enumeration of constitutional rights shall not be restricted and denied or disparaged others or seen by the people. That right, is key, but in many others that follows, that they cannot take away rights that we already have, regardless of their own belief or their own political views.
Hey, does anyone want to respond to that? Awesome. I'm going to go on to the next question. Is medical marijuana ethical in itself? If it's legalized, should it be totally legalized? Why are we going to use this medicine and treat it just like these pharmaceuticals? If we want to lessen the regulation, shouldn't we go all the way? Do we have an opinion on that?
I think it's principally because our current politicians, they have investments in, pharmaceutical companies and health insurance companies. Because I know somebody who uses marijuana without a prescription because her health insurance doesn't allow her to see any type of doctor other than the one she currently sees. And her doctor isn't, giving her anything for her pain, stuff like that. So I think it's more along the lines of who the politicians are investing in, and that's how our laws get passed. I don't think it's necessarily like our best interest. I think it's who they put their money into.
I agree with you. I'm going to tie something into that response. What gives them the right to subsidize pharmaceutical companies ban medical marijuana business? Because ultimately they're in it for corporate interest. They can have the same corporate interest in the medical marijuana business.
Again, to that question, should the government even be involved at all? Because, like you just pointed out, they regulate pharmaceuticals, and promote them, and then make cures such as marijuana illegal. I again have to go back to decriminalization as the word, and that's across the board. Every drug, decriminalize it, and let the families take care of themselves.
Individual responsibility. I'm going to really quickly tie what he said to Social Security, even though it's off topic. But the idea of Social Security is that we make investments throughout our career to retire and get that money back, even though the money is not equivalent to what we invested. And keeping this in mind, do they have the right to be responsible for us? Aren't we all adults here? We're responsible for ourselves. The government doesn't need to be our big brother. Well, let's go back to drugs.
To put into what you just said, I believe in the legalization and decriminalization of drugs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that if meth or heroin is legalized, that I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
Alcohol is legal, but I personally know that I react poorly to alcohol, so I'm not going to do it. It's about being responsible enough to know how you react to a drug and making it a personal issue in saying that, no, I'm not going to do this, or rather than having someone tell you you're not gonna do it.
We don't need to name state.
Unless it's your parents.
I don't think legalization or illegalization should even be used in this. It's decriminalization. The government is not involved in it. They can't tell me I can take it, and they can't tell me I can't take it.
That's kind of what he was saying, just in different words, because he doesn't believe the government should be involved in our responsibility for ourselves.
But using the word legalizing, I'm not saying this, but using the word legalizing or illegalizing still says the government tells you, okay, you can do this. Well, you can't tell me I can. God can tell me I can. I can tell myself I can. I mean, legalization or illegalization probably aren't the words.
Lady in the back of her hand up? Did you take a chance? Oh, Bridget did it.
Do you guys feel like the Americans as a general population are even going to socially be responsible enough to handle, like, let's say we legalize, like how the Autobahn in Germany has no speed limit, but everyone there has grown up with something like that, so they responsibly drive. If we were to have something like that here in America, I just feel like maybe it's a good idea because the dumb people would just weed themselves out. And so, I mean, I just feel like the Americans in general are not responsible enough to handle, like Killian said, you know, he knows he reacts poorly, but some people are very addictive personalities and will have a hard time coping with the legalization of all these great, wonderful things and dealing with the responsibility.
Okay, everyone just thoroughly listened to what she said, right? We're about to have a long talk about that. Okay, now she thinks that some people don't have that responsibility. And this gets into the point the government should be taking care of those people, because those are the same people that's going to be on welfare, the same people on food stamps, the same people having 10 children for a family, and the same people that are slowing the progress of our society. Social Darwinism does exist, and we need to let it exist and quit trying to fight it with the government.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, almost lost my thought. As far as, changing, getting ready for that change,
Many governments in the past have made the change and shown that it worked out. As humans, we severely underestimate our ability to adapt to new situations. We adapt very quickly. So I really don't see that as being a problem.
I don't think it's a problem either. Does anyone else want to respond or elaborate?
I don't think necessarily that, you know, if you have a group of people that can't handle themselves when they, you know, drink alcohol or take a certain drug, that shouldn't impact me as a person who wants to partake in it. Like, just because they don't react well to it, why should that impact me?
If I want to get high, then go shoot a bunch of people, which doesn't happen. If you want to get high and go Caesars, you have the right to do that.
I would like to say that, yes, maybe if drugs were legal, that a lot of people that are careless and have addictive personalities would weed themselves up, would we not, like the Audubon learn over time our limitations as a whole of people and become more responsible with it.
Well, it's just like cigarettes, you know, cigarettes are legal now, you see everyday commercials, and the one that gets me every time is that guy, you know, on the lung machine, like you can end up looking, you know what I mean? It's like, so it was to be legalized, and it's like crack, you know, you had the whole crack epidemic in the 80s, and my aunt was crackhead, and after seeing how down she went, that's something that I personally don't want to do. So if it was legal to the irresponsible people who would, you know, become these addicts and would want to see themselves looking like a crackhead,